Okay, let's go on. Now we have reading passage 2, academic reading, and the topic is collecting as a hobby. Right? Collecting as a hobby, not hubby. Yeah, collecting as a hobby, that you like collecting things. Like some people collect coins, some people collect currency notes, some people collect matchboxes, some people collect what? Pebbles, pictures, coins, stamps, absolutely. So collecting as a hobby means there's going to be a passage which will talk about some hobbies and what is it that people collect and all that, right? Now we go to the questions first. Questions 14 to 21. Complete the sentences below. Choose one word only. Complete the sentences below. What does it mean? It's type A. Questions and answers are going to be in order. Good news. And after that we have true, false, not given. Another good news. Again, questions and answers are in order. Only where questions and answers are not in order, that question type takes long time and you have to do it at the end. At the end of that very section. Always start with questions where questions and answers are in order. Don't follow the order of questions that they have given you. You have to follow your own order. And your own order is where questions and answers are in order. I will do that first and then at the end I will go to the other types, right? So, question number 14. The writer mentions collecting dash as an example. Now listen, collecting dash as an example means it's going to be a commodity. Collecting dash as an example of collecting in order to make money. Like some people collect dash in order to earn money from there. Let's go back. Example, the writer gives an example. It's not necessary that they're going to use the word example. Collecting in order to make money. Second paragraph. Everyone found it? Now listen, before you reach second paragraph, you will not read first paragraph. If you read first paragraph to reach second paragraph, you will never be able to complete IELTS reading in 1 hour. Then you need at least 3 hours. Because there are 3 passages. Okay? So if you do so, and scanning is very good. Through scanning, the first target is to reach where there is the answer, then read. Otherwise, if you are scanning and you don't know how to reach there, you can do skimming. Skimming means to read few things, a sentence, half sentence, a phrase, to decide, to determine that this is the right answer. And if it isn't, if the answer is not there, scan on. Scanning, skimming, and then you reach the right place and then you can read it all carefully. So, there are people who collect because they want to make money. Now, we have got to see what is it that they collect. This could be called an instrumental reason for collecting. That is, collecting as a means to an end. They will look for say. Now listen, the word say means for example. Say means for example. They look for say antique as they can buy cheaply and expect to be able to sell at a profit. So, antique, absolutely. The writer mentions collecting antique as an example of collecting in order to make money. And they have written plural word antiques. Will you write singular or plural? Absolutely, copy paste. 100% copy paste. If it is antiques here, you will also write antiques. So, sorry? Answer lag gaya par matlab nahi aaya. Antiques means, have you seen Barbie doll? Barbie doll, beautiful one, yeah? Antiques means old. ठीक हो गया? Yeah. So now here you are helpless. If you don't know what is the meaning of antique, you can ask the examiner. In actual exams, hey, idhar aa. Antique da matlab das. Yeah, if they don't tell you, you have a pointed pencil. Dasta kyun nahi? Okay. Alright. Okay, let's go on. So that is why please focus your vocabulary. If you don't understand what you read, many students have this problem. They tell me my band is not increasing from 5, and 5 band can come from fluke. Fluke means tukka. You'll find the answer. Okay, answer is true. How? I don't know. I think it is true. Yeah? Okay, it is false. So they get 5, 4.5 just because of flukes. So that is why understanding is more important. Question number 15. Collectors may get a feeling of. Now listen, answer is a feeling. Answer is an emotion. For feeling, they use the word emotion. Feeling of dash from buying and selling. Collectors get a feeling of. Now we go on. Same paragraph. But second paragraph, exactly. Second paragraph. And I'm reading it from 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth last line. But there may well be a psychological element too. Buying cheap and selling dear. Dear means expensive. Buying cheap and selling dear can give the collector a sense of triumph. Triumph. And sense means feeling. Now, if you know sense and feeling, they are same words. Sometimes for feeling, they use the word emotion of, feeling of, they feel. So the answer is triumph. Triumph. Good. And triumph means kamyabi, success, achievement, and all that. Okay? By the way, if you don't know the meaning, you can still find the answer, right? Yeah. So question number 15, answer is triumph. Question number 16, collectors clubs. Now the word is clubs. Collectors clubs provide opportunity to share dash. Now the clue word is collectors club and opportunity to share something. Let's go back. Third paragraph, many collectors collect to develop their social life, attending meeting of a group of collectors. Now this group of collectors is actually called collectors club. Group of collectors and exchanging information on items. Exchanging information, and for that they use the word share. Now share and exchange, they are synonyms in IELTS. And by the way, that's why I stress you to learn collocations. In collocations, to share information, to exchange information, to impart information. So with information, if you know collocations, you can find the answer easily. So the answer is information. Question number 17. Collectors Club offer dash with people who have similar interest. They offer something with people who have similar interest. Same paragraph. This is a variant on joining a bridge club or a gym, and similarly brings them into contact with like-minded people. Huh? Contact. Well done. Bring them in contact with like-minded people. Come back. Collectors Club offer dash with people who have similar interest. Now what is the word for people who have similar interest? Like-minded people. Absolutely. So the answer is contact. And by the way, in the answer key, they have given two answers. One is contact and second is meeting. Have they mentioned meeting? No, but anyways, they've given this word. Anyways, contact is the right answer. Now we go on. Say yeah. Good. I'm telling you again, honestly, this is the simplest way we are doing academic IELTS reading. There is nothing beyond that. After that, it's only you read the question, translate. You read the passage, translate. Then you say, samjhe okay nahi? Okay, something like that. So just underline the sentences where there is the answer. Go back home and try to focus individual question one by one, and then you'll find the answers. No, good question. If we write the word like-minded with the hyphen, it's one word. Like-minded with the hyphen, one word, right? Let's go on. Question number 18. Collecting sometimes involve a lifelong, important word, dash for a special item. Lifelong dash for a special item. Yes, another motive for collecting is the desire to find something special or a particular example of the collected items, such as rare early recording by a particular singer and all that. So another motive for collecting is the desire to find something special or a particular example of the collected items, such as rare early recording by a particular singer. Come back. Collecting sometimes involves a lifelong desire for a special item. Now tell me, what is the word for lifelong? Whole life. Any word here? Motive, exactly. Another motive for collecting. Motive for collecting? Sorry? Second line, find something special. Okay, yes. Exactly. That is that. Well done. Absolutely. Some may spend their whole lives in a hunt for this. Okay, that's good. So, anyways, answer is lifelong. Yes, now listen. There are two things. Well, that's fine. Absolutely. We've got to change our mind. Because they did not mention anything about lifelong, and for lifelong, they've mentioned the word who lives in a hunt. Now, when you live in search of something, that is your lifelong thing. So the answer is going to be hunt. Yes. Okay, for question number 18, answer is going to be hunt. Sorry? Okay, listen. Let's read the question again. Collecting sometimes involve a lifelong dash for a special item. I'm reading it from the next paragraph. Some may spend their whole lives in a hunt for this. Now this word this takes you back to the previous paragraph. Another motive for collecting is the desire to find something special. By the way, when you go to answer key, they have written two answers. One answer is desire and one answer is hunt. So when you go to old Cambridge IELTS books, there they have such type of confusions. Now this is a confusion. When you go to the answer key, you will find one answer is written like hunt and then it's written desire. So whether you write hunt or desire, any answer can be right. But this thing was confusing. But when you go to the new books means after 9, 10, 11, 12, we don't have such type of things, right? So don't worry. Whether you write hunt or you write desire, both answers are good. Let's go on. Question number 19. Searching for something particular may prevent people from feeling their life is completely dash. Focus the word, life is completely dash. Good. The word life. So it's the first paragraph on the right side. First paragraph, second line, psychologically. Found it? Yes. Psychologically, this can give a purpose to a life that otherwise feels aimless. So, purpose to a life, purposeful life and otherwise aimless life. So, the answer is aimless. Exactly. Okay, let's go on. Question number 20. Stamp collecting may be dash. 19. Searching for something particular may prevent people from feeling their life is completely. So please come back. Second line from the right side, first paragraph. Psychologically, this can give a purpose to a life. What can give a purpose? Collecting things and all that gives a purpose to a life that otherwise. What do they mean by that? What do they mean by that? Life, absolutely. That otherwise means life otherwise feels aimless. So aimless is the right answer. And one more thing. Let's read on. There is a danger though that if the individual is ever lucky enough to find what they are looking for rather than celebrating their success, they may feel empty. And they have written empty or aimless in the answer key. And again I'm telling you, in the latest test they will not have two words that either this or that. This is only in some books like that, okay? But this test is not from a very old book. Now let's go on. Question number 20. Stamp collecting may be dash. Clue word stamp collecting may be dash because it provides facts about different countries. Very next paragraph. If you think about collecting postage stamps, another potential reason for it, or perhaps a result of collecting, is its educational value. Now come back. Stamp collecting may be educational because it provides facts. May be educational. Its educational value and may be educational. Sorry? Educational is adjective. It's not necessary that there should be a noun. May be educational, right? No, not necessary. Not necessary here. Okay? Yeah. In that case, you know what do? They give you 3-4 adjectives together. 1, 2, 3, and then there is a noun. So in that case, noun is the answer. May be educational. Question number 21. Just a second. Question number 21. Dash tends to be mostly a male hobby. A hobby that is only a male hobby. Let's go back. Male hobby. Male, they use the word men. Men, boys and men. Found it? Okay. It's the last paragraph, title page, right side column. In the past and nowadays, too tough to a lesser extent, a popular form of collecting, particularly among boys and men, was train spotting. Now, train spotting. And what is the word for male? Boys and men. And what is the hobby? Train spotting. Train spotting tends to be mostly a male hobby. Okay, now we've got true, false, not given. And true, false, not given over here, questions and the passage, they are in order. The good thing. Question number 22. Number of people buying dolls. What is doll in Urdu? Say it loudly. Again. गुड़िया कित्थों आ गई हो काका तेरी ते गुड़िया भी सही नहीं है say again हाँ हाँ yeah all right गुड़िया गुड़िया yeah गुड़िया is also a common nickname in our country गुड़िया yeah no, yeah गुड़िया and you know once a friend of mine he has got his wife who's got a nickname as गुड़िया और उस बेचारे की ट्रबल पता है क्या है उसको चिड़िया भी नहीं कहना आता okay he says चिड़िया and then गुड़िया will become गुड़िया गुड़िया all right रे नहीं आता बीवी के नाम में रे आ गया okay all right not him another friend okay so doll means गुड़िया yeah. Question number 22. Number of people buying dolls has grown over centuries. Look here. If the number of people who buy dolls that has increased over centuries, over the time period, answer is true. If it has decreased or it is same, answer is, and if they don't tell us whether the number, they will tell us the number, but if the number, they will not tell us whether the number has increased or decreased, then the answer is not given. And you should know that. In true, false, not given, when you read the sentence, you should know what is the false version. If this is the answer, it's true. If that is written, it's false. And if they don't tell this thing, then the answer is not given. Now, can you see the word doll? गुड़िया ढूंढ के लाएं. गुड़िया ढूंढें गुड़िया. मिल गई? All right. गुड़िया आसानी से मिल जाती कि जाती नहीं. Okay? Yeah. So, let's see. Some people collect dolls. कुछ लोग गुड़िया इकट्ठी करते हैं. क्या बात है? All right, plural लिखा हुआ. Now, some people who collect dolls may go beyond simply enlarging their collection and develop an interest in the way that dolls are made. गुड़िया कैसे बनती है? And the materials that are used. गुड़िया किस material की बनी होती है? नहीं कहते गुड़िया तो किस चीज दी बनी है like that okay teach ना होए थे okay these have changed now listen these have changed means the material with which the doll is made and the way the doll is made, these have changed over the centuries from the wood that was standard in 16th century Europe and all that. So have they told us anything that the number of people buying dolls has grown or the number of people buying dolls has decreased? No. So the answer is not given. Okay? Not given. Question number 23, please. 16th century European dolls. European dolls mean bahar di guddi. Yeah. 16th century European dolls were normally made of wax and porcelain. Now look here. 16th century is your clue word. If the dolls were made of wax and porcelain, answer is true. If they were made of another material, answer is, and if they don't tell us the material, answer is, ye aapko, this is the thing that you guys should know. Now we go back. They've written here 16th century Europe through the wax and porcelain of later centuries. Porcelain. Now let's read again. These have changed. I'm reading this line. It's the first paragraph on second page and sentence number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These have changed. Found it? Now let's read carefully. These have changed over the centuries from the wood that was standard in 16th century Europe. What was standard? Wood in 16th century Europe through the wax and porcelain of later centuries. Now porcelain came later centuries, not 16th century. Come back. 16th century European dolls were normally made of wax and porcelain. False. Exactly. Because that was in the later centuries, not that century. That is why it is false. Again, English muk gayi te samajh nahi aayegi. So, yeah. It could be, yes, absolutely. Yes, please. May go beyond does not mean that the number of people buying dolls has grown. Go beyond means they can go to any limit. किसी भी हद तक गुड़िया के लिए जा सकते हैं. Yeah, गुड़िया के लिए जान का नजराना भी पेश कर सकते हैं. Okay? Yeah. फिर वही गुड़िया होती है जिसको बाद में कहते हैं एनाबेल हो गई है. सेम गुड़िया बिकम्स एनाबेल. मैं तो समझा था मासूम गुड़िया होगी, निकली क्या एनाबेल. पता है ना एनाबेल हॉरर मूवी वाली है. एग्जैक्टली. और पाए ना ऑर्डर ले लो. दे कॉलिंग. ओके, लेट्स गो ऑन. Let's just go on. Question number 24. Arranging a stamp collection by the size of the stamps. Now just keep in mind, arranging a stamp collection by the size of stamps is less common than other methods. Now look here. They arrange the stamps by size. Badi wali pehle, the smaller one next, then the smaller and the smallest, the largest and the smallest. So this is what they are saying. Arranging stamp collection by the size of the stamps is less common than other methods. Now they will tell us other methods and this method. So let's see. If this method is less common, answer is true. If this method is more common, answer is. And if they don't tell us whether this method is less common or more common, then the answer is not given. Let's go back. Yeah, the next paragraph. Stamp collectors, for instance. Left side column, second paragraph. Found it? Fourth last line. Everyone? I tell you one thing, don't give up. Some of you have started to give up. Give up means, and then they're looking, right? Mind is not working, but they're only looking at this, looking at me. Yeah, like Sayana. So be careful, don't act like this. Please be with me. So, stamp collectors, for instance, arrange their stamps in albums, usually very neatly, organizing their collection according to certain commonplace principles, perhaps by country in alphabetical order, or grouping stamps by what they depict, people, birds, maps. Have they mentioned anything about size? That the bigger one first and the smaller? Answer is Not give up. Okay? So again, don't give up. Please focus. You will understand the things. Yeah? Why? Listen, listen, listen. The question says arranging stamp collection by size. Have they mentioned size of the stamps anywhere? That's the point. Yeah, they said other methods, this method, that method, but the size, and then they've used the word is less common. So size is not mentioned. When size is not mentioned, there is no point of mentioning less common. Okay, that is why it's not given. All right, there's a very thin line between false and not given. So you should be clear. Question number 25. Someone who collects unusual objects. Let's go on. Someone who collects unusual objects may want others to think he or she is also unusual. Like if I have a doll, I am an unusual person. Right? Yeah. If I have a doll, I am unusual person. So the people who collect unusual objects, they want others to think that they are unusual people as well. Next, second last paragraph. One reason. Second last paragraph of the passage. Please follow quietly, calmly. One reason, conscious or not, for what someone chooses to collect is to show the collector's individualism. And what is individualism? That they are unusual. Answer is true. Okay, let's go on. To collector's individualism, someone who decides to collect something as unexpected as dog collars, for instance. Yeah, this one. Huh? For instance, may be conveying their belief that they must be interesting themselves, and believe it or not, there is at least one dog. No, actually they've mentioned individualism, and that's very simple. Yes, but actually the exact word is collector's individualism. That means collector is also unusual. Very simple. And in true false not given, more you read, more you get confused. Keep that in mind. There is always one sentence for true false not given which you have to read and match. And if you try to read more and more and more, you will get double confused. This is important point. Question number 26, please. Collecting gives a feeling that other hobbies are unlikely to inspire. Collecting gives you a feeling that other hobbies will not inspire people. Collecting will inspire people. So if it gives the feeling, answer is true. If it doesn't give that feeling, then answer is false and otherwise not given. Please come to the last paragraph. Of course, all hobbies give pleasure, but the common factor in collecting is usually passion. Pleasure is putting it far too mildly. More than most other hobbies, collecting can be totally engrossing and can give a strong sense of personal fulfillment. So, collecting gives a feeling that other hobbies are unlikely to inspire. What is written for other hobbies are unlikely to inspire? Yeah, what is the word for that? All hobbies give pleasure, but the common factor in collecting is usually passion. Pleasure is putting it far too mildly, and more than most other hobbies, collecting can be totally engrossing. More than most other hobbies, and the word here is unlikely to inspire. That's right. Answer is true. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੀਮੂ ਹੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਹਾਂ. Reading passage 2. Wow, list of headings. Good. At least now you can learn about list of headings as well. Okay, as usual, first of all, we will read the title of the passage. Dawn of the Robots. Dawn means beginning. Dawn means agaz. Dawn of the Robots means a paragraph where they are going to talk about robots. How they are starting, how they are doing things and all that. Right? Okay, they are already here. What do they mean by they? Robots, very good. Referencing. Robots are already here, driving cars, vacuuming carpet, and feeding hospital patients. They may not be walking, talking, human like sensual beings, but they are clever and a little creepy. Dangerous. Clever and creepy. If a robot goes out of control, then what will you do? Okay, it's all about robots and ABCD. Whenever passage is labeled, there can be two question types. One is list of headings. Second, which paragraph contains the following information. Now, in order to do list of headings, it's a very good idea to go through all the headings quickly so that you understand what the headings are. And when you read the headings, very important point, you have to read and interpret the headings. I tell you how to do that. Read and interpret the heading. Interpret means what does it mean? What's the meaning of this heading? For example, heading number 1, tackling the issues using a different approach. So they will use a different method to overcome the problem. Understand? Tackling the issue using a different approach, and they have used singular. There will be a problem. They will try to resolve that problem using a different approach, right? Heading number 2, significant improvement on last time. Now, significant improvement on last time means last time it was the worst, but this time it was much better than before. Significant improvement means much better than before. Heading number 3, how robots can save human lives. Robots save human lives. They'll give you an example that they will use robots in the hospitals and they can save human lives. And one more thing, imagine also. Imagine a robot, right? And robot is saving human life and something like that. Imagine all these headings. Heading number 4, examples of robots at work. Now listen, very simple. In one paragraph, they will say some robots vacuuming, some robots farming, some robots doing this, some robots doing that. कोई हंडी पका रही है robot नहीं, कोई robot झाड़ू दे रहा है, कोई robot नहीं ये कर रही है and all that. Robot नहीं, you understand ना? Yeah, feminine of robot, yeah? Okay, then you say, nahi robot nahi idhar aar, roti paka, something like that. Life will be easier, huh, if robots are going to do all that. Next, not what it seems to be. Now try to understand. I told you, once you interpret at least 40-50 sentences of list of headings, you will clearly understand what do they mean by that. Because with everything, now when they say not what it seemed to be, means aisa tha nahi jaisa laga. Right? You know, the other day, like, all right, leave it. That's fine. Once I was out there with one of my cousins and a beggar came and the beggar said, Allah jodi salamat rakhe. My cousin said, mera chota bhra hai. And then, so, not what it seems to be. Okay, you understand? Yeah. So, in one paragraph, they will talk like that. आज पता नहीं कहाँ से पुरानी बचपन की बातें याद आ रही. Heading number 6, why time scales are impossible to predict. Time scale. They will talk about timeline and they will give us the reason why they are impossible to predict. I mean, why you can't predict the time scale. Heading number 7, reason why robots rarely move. Now they will give us the reasons that why robots don't move. Like say they are not like human. If there's a robot moving and then there are the stairs, sometimes they cannot climb the stairs. So the reason why robots rarely move. Rarely means hardly. Okay. Heading number 8, following the pattern of an earlier development. Wow, something was done in the past and they followed the same pattern and developed something. Understand? Some research was done in the past and they followed the same pattern. Following the pattern of an earlier development. And by the way, whenever they use the word earlier, look for past tense. Earlier development, that development will be mentioned in past simple tense. Okay, heading number 9, ethical issues of robotics. Now, there must be some ethical issues with robotics as well. Means some people may use them for wrong things. So ethical issues of robotics, wherever they talk about ethics, right, or discipline or anything like that. Now we've been through all the headings. Now please come to paragraph A. Now look here. In the paragraph, you don't need to read all the paragraph by the way. In the paragraph, there are couple of sentences or maybe 3-4 sentences maximum. Minimum it can be one sentence that will match with the heading. That sentence is what we call the main idea of the paragraph. Sometimes main idea is in the beginning, especially if you get list of headings in part 1. There you will usually find main idea in first sentence or in second sentence. If list of heading comes in part 2 or part 3, the main idea, there are 3 spots for main idea. The first sentence, somewhere the middle sentence, or the last sentence. But you will have to read a couple of sentences. So for list of headings, there is a reading type, we call it skim reading. Skim reading means to read quickly. When you skim read, sometimes you slow down. That, okay, this is important, I'll read it, okay? So let's see. At first sight, it looked like a typical suburban road accident. At first sight, it looked like. Try to understand, okay? You got it already. At first sight, it looked like means laga. But वो था नहीं, जो लगा वो था नहीं. At first sight, it looked like a typical suburban road accident. A Land Rover approached a Chevy Tahoe estate car that had stopped at curb. The Land Rover pulled out and tried to pass the toy just as it started off again. There was a crack of fenders and the sound of paintwork began scraped. The kind of minor mishap that occurs on road thousands of times every day. Normally, drivers get out, gesticulate, exchange insurance detail, and then drive off. But no, on this occasion, not on this occasion. No one got out of the cars for the simple reason that they had no human inside them. So what it looked like a motor accident. But now he says, no one got out of the car for the simple reason that they had no humans inside them. The Tahoe and Land Rover were being controlled by computers. So first they said, at first sight, it looked like a road accident, but actually it wasn't a road accident. Both cars were driven by robots. So which heading? Yeah, heading number 5, not what it seemed to be. Now see the word seemed and liked, looked like. Even from the first line we get the idea. At first sight, it looked like. Clear? Okay. So for question number 14, paragraph A. Now how will you write your answer? 5 how? V, exactly. Yeah, Roman number. You must write Roman number. For list of headings, always write Roman number. Sometimes they feed this in their computer for paper, computer delivered 5. And sometimes students ask me, sir, 5 kahan pe milega? It's V. Okay, it's not that you look for Roman numbers to keyboard pe hai hi nahi. It's not like that. So ABC alphabet you can use. 5 is V, 6 is VI, 7 VII, 10 X, 20 double F. But don't worry, headings are going to be around 9 or 10. So 9, 10 tak Roman number nahi bhi aate, jo likha ho likh ke laga de. Okay, yeah. All right, let's go on. Now we've got B. The idea. Now one more thing. If in the beginning they start narrating something, they are telling a story, they are expressing something, then you can jump towards the last lines. So they say the idea that machines could perform to such standard is startling. Driving is a complex task that takes humans a long time to perfect. Yet here each car had its on-board computer loaded with a digital map and all that. Okay, let's just come to the middle. Even more striking, found it? Yes. I've reached the middle. Even more striking was the fact that collision between the robot Land Rover built by researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and the Tahoe fitted out by Cornell University artificial intelligence experts was the only scrape in the entire competition. Now, focus this. Yet only 3 years earlier at Debra's previous driverless car race, every robot competitor directed to navigate across a stretch of open desert either crashed or seized up. 3 years earlier, what happened? Every robot either crashed or seized up before getting near the finishing line. So yet only 3 years earlier, something happened 3 years before. No, it isn't 8. Focus this thing. Yet only 3 years earlier at DEPRA's previous driverless cars race, every robot competitor directed to navigate across the stretch to open desert either crashed or seized. Now 3 years earlier, every robot crashed or seized, but this time the robots did not crash or seize. It's heading number 2, a significant improvement on last time. And by the way, what is last time? 3 years earlier. 3 years earlier is last time, and improvement is like 3 years earlier, every robot seized, but now it didn't seize. And they used the word was the only scrape in the entire competition. It means others were successful, right? And one more thing, you can do the heading which you select, cross it, so that you don't read it again. For example, heading number 5 and heading number 2. Just cross the number so that you don't read it again. Okay, now let's go on. Paragraph C. It is a remarkable transition that has clear implications for the car of the future. All right. More importantly, it demonstrates how robotics, science, and artificial intelligence have progressed in the past few years. Okay. A point stressed by Bill Gates. Underline Bill Gates. Whenever you find the names of researchers, scientists and all that, there would be some matching type of questions. So, the Microsoft boss who is a convert to these causes. This sentence, please read, the robotics industry is developing in much the same way the computer business did 30 years ago. Match something with it. Robotics industry is developing in much the same way the computer business did 30 years ago. Who said that? Bill Gates said that. So heading number 8. Following the pattern of an earlier development. Earlier development, you remember Microsoft and all that. So robotic industry is following the same pattern. Hence the answer for question number 16 is heading number 8, and cross 8 as well. Now, let's move on. Now we've got this paragraph D. What is the potential for robots and computers in the near future? He's going to talk about near future. The fact is, we still have a way to go before real robots catch up with their science fiction counterparts. You know science fiction counterparts? You see robots in the movies. There are certain movies, so science fiction is only the movie and the real robots that they are making. They say this thing here, the fact is we still have a way to go before real robots catch up with their science fiction counterparts, Gates says. So what are the stumbling blocks? One key difficulty, important point, one key difficulty is getting robots to know their place. This has nothing to do with class or etiquette, but concerns the simple issue of positioning. Focus this thing and go back. Absolutely. They say one key difficulty is getting robots to know their place. This has nothing to do with class or etiquette, but concerns the simple issue of positioning. Then they say humans orient themselves with other objects in a room very easily. Robots find the task almost impossible. Right? So it's all about their movement. Heading number 7, the reason why robots rarely move. Now, for example, if you need to go out of this room, you will not go to the table and first bump into the table. You know the way is there. But robots cannot do that at the moment. Exactly. If you read on, it's further clear. You're right, absolutely. Okay, so we've used heading number 7 also, we cross it from there. Now, you know what will happen? When you read the next paragraph, you will only focus the headings which are the remaining one, which are left. Okay, paragraph E. For a long time, researchers tried to get around the problem by attempting to recreate the visual processing that goes on in the human cortex. However, that challenge has proved to be singularly exacting and complex. So scientists have turned to simpler alternative, another approach. Simpler alternative means they used another approach. We have become far more pragmatic in our works. says Nilo Christini and all that. Now let's see. Tackling the issue using a different approach. And what is the word for issue? Get round the problem. Get round the problem and using a different approach, attempting to recreate the visual processing. And for that they said, so scientists have turned to simpler alternative. Simpler alternative means different approach. So for question number 18, paragraph E, heading number 1. Now how many questions are left? 1. And how many headings? 3. 3 headings should be left. 4. Heading number 3, 4, 6 and 9. Exactly. Now let's come to last paragraph. Last year, a new Hong Kong restaurant, Robot Kitchen, you will find it easily, opened with a couple of sensor-laden humanoid machines directing customers to their seats. Number 1, each possesses a touch screen on which orders can be keyed in. One robot was telling the customers where to sit, and one robot was going to take orders, can be keyed in. The robot then returns with the correct dishes. One robot was serving food. So different tasks the robots were doing. In Japan, yeah? Examples of robots at work. Well done. At work means in the restaurant. And examples are, one robot was, like, there was a touch screen and people ordered there, like we do in McDonald's. Okay, so heading number 4 is taken there. Now, let's just take a look at trap headings. Heading number 3, how robots can save human lives. They didn't mention it anywhere, right? Heading number 6, why time scales are impossible to predict. It wasn't mentioned. And last, the ethical issues of robotics. They mentioned it somewhere, but he said it's not the ethical thing. If you just come to, where was it? Paragraph D. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he said this has nothing to do with class or etiquette. Nothing to do means this trap is here. Okay, thank you. All right, questions 20 to 23. And we've got ABC, 3 names written, and there are 4 questions. Got it? Okay, now listen. In this case, questions and the passage, they are not in order. But A, B, C, these names are always in order. You already underlined Bill Gates there. Okay, now please underline Nilo Christianini. Nilo Christianini. Nilo ni? Yeah. Nilo Pilo do Penasan. Okay. All right, and underline Ron Chrysley. Okay, Ron Chrysley is in paragraph E. Okay, now listen, just do one thing. Wherever the names are written, there you should also write A, B, C. Where Bill Gates is written, write A. Where Nilo Christianini is written, write B. And where Ron is written, just write C over there. Clear? And you will also see there are 4 questions. That means one name will be used twice. Okay. Now, please come to paragraph C, where we have first Bill Gates. Got it? Now, I'm just going to read his statement. He says, more importantly, it demonstrates how robotics, science, and artificial intelligence have progressed in the past few years. A point stressed by Bill Gates, Microsoft, and then he said, robotics industry is developing in much the same way the computer business did 30 years ago. Right? And I can envision a future in which robotic devices will become a nearly ubiquitous part of our day-to-day lives. Got it? Then he says, just read inverted commas. We may be on the verge of a new era when the PC will get up off the desk and allow us to see, hear, touch, and manipulate objects in places where we are not physically present. This thing, and please come to paragraph D as well. Again, we've got paragraph D, first line. The fact is, we still have a way to go. Got it? The fact is, we still have a way to go before real robots catch up with their science fiction counterparts. Now, please come to questions 20 to 23. Question number 20. Important concern for scientists is to ensure that robots do not seem frightening. Underline robots do not seem frightening. कि robot से डर ना लगे. You know the robot आए सारे चीखे मारते हुए बाहर निकल जाए. Right? So just underline that. Question number 21. We have stopped trying to enable robots to perceive objects as humans do. We have stopped trying to enable robots to perceive objects as humans do. No? Okay. 22. It will take considerable time for modern robots to match the ones we have created in films and books. Science fiction. That is films and books. So for question number 22, answer is A. And cross 22 also. Now we will not come back to it. Otherwise we'll waste our time reading it and then realizing iska to pehle likha hua hai. Question number 23. We need to enable robots to move freely before we think about trying to communicate with them. All right. Now we are left with 3 questions. And next is Nilo Christianini. The next paragraph? Okay, let's read about him. His statement comes before. So I'm reading paragraph E. And I'm reading it from third line, last word, so. Found it? Okay. So, scientists have turned to simpler alternative. Now, we have, I told you before, inverted commas are important. We have become far more pragmatic in our work, says Nilo, professor of artificial intelligence at the University of Bristol, England. Right? He says, we are no longer trying to recreate human functions. Wow, there is one option. We are no longer trying to create human functions. Which one is it? 21. We have stopped trying to enable robots to perceive objects as humans do. Okay, so he says we are no longer trying to recreate human functions. Instead, we are looking for simpler solution. So for question number 21, answer is B. And we cross 21 also. Clear? All right. Now, let's go on. Same paragraph and we have the third one, Ron? Okay, the last line. Okay. Now, let's read about Ron, please. Christianity, and it's done. Okay. Ron is here. I'm reading about Ron. For that, please come to third last line. Technology like this is now changing the face of robotics, says philosopher Ron Chrysley. Technology like this is now changing the face of robotics. Okay, let's go on. All right. Can you see? I mean, there is no statement of Ron here. And come to last paragraph. See that? So name is mentioned, but statement is not given. So that part is not the part where you will find the answer. Everyone got it? Name diya hua hai, inverted commas mein statement nahi diya hua. So in that case, you'll have to go on. Now please come to paragraph F, and I'm reading it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th last line. Because inverted commas start from there. Robots first learn. Everyone found it? Yeah? Okay, let's read it. Robots first learn basic competence, how to move around a house without bumping into things. Then we can think about teaching them how to interact with human. How to interact with human means communicate. First we need to teach them how to move. Which option? 23. Well done. We need to enable robots to move freely. What is for move freely? How to move around a house without bumping into things. Without bumping into things means freely. Right? And then they say, then we think about trying to communicate with them. And what is for trying to communicate? Teaching them how to interact with human. Exactly. So 23 correct answer is C. C is gone. Now listen. When one question is left, it's a good idea to read the question as well, so that you know what the question is. Question number 20. Important concern for scientists is to ensure that robots do not seem frightening. Let's read the same thing on. Machines such as these, I'm reading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th last line. Chrysley said, found it? Okay. Machines such as these take researchers into the field of socialized robotics, how to make robots act in a way that does not scare or offend individuals. And who said that? Chrysler. Chrysler is C. So it means for 20 also, answer is C. Clear? Alright, so inverted commas and statements are important there. Okay, now we've got questions 24 to 26. And it is again a kind of matching, but it's a different one. Anyways, complete the notes below. Choose no more than 3 words from the text for each answer. Now, maximum words are 3 words. Okay, robot features. Now, can you see DAPRA, Electrolux, and Robot Kitchen? Can you please go back and underline first DAPRA? DAPRA is in paragraph B. Then Electrolux in paragraph Electrolux. Scan it. Electrolux. Paragraph E. Very good. Very good. And Robot Kitchen? F. So paragraph B for DAPRA, paragraph E for Electrolux, and paragraph F for Robot Kitchen. Is this clear? So it means these are the locations. Now let's read the question. DAPRA race cars. Dash provides maps and plans for routes. Now listen, something which provides maps and plans. The clue word is maps and plans on route. So which thing provides that? Go back. Paragraph B, read it from second line. Driving is a complex task. Found it? Driving is a complex task that takes human a long time to perfect. Yet here each car had its on-board computer loaded with a digital map and route. What is loaded with digital map or route? On-board computer. So the answer is going to be, it's how many words? No more than 3 words. So you can write on-board computer. मिल गया? सब समझ में आ गई सबको? On-board computer. And for provides, what is the word? Loaded with. Exactly. Loaded with digital map and route plans. So on-board computer. And have you seen on-board is written as with hyphen? Just copy it exactly. On-board. Next we've got Electrolux. So for that we will come to paragraph E. The question is, builds an image of a room by sending out. It sends out some waves or some rays and then it builds the image of a room. Paragraph E. Please come to 4th last line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th last line. Electrolux trilobite. The trilobite scuttles around homes emitting. Emit means send. Emit means nikalna, send. Emitting ultrasound signals. So sending out ultrasound signals. Now emit and send out. Got it? Ultrasound signals. Sorry? Not at all, not at all. It's IELTS, not medicine. Okay? There you can have the short form. Question number 26. Robot kitchen. Which paragraph? F. So the question is, have a dash to take orders. Very simple. A robot has something to take orders. Paragraph F. Let's read it from 3rd line. Paragraph F, 3rd line. Each possesses, each means each robot, possesses a touch screen on which orders can be keyed in. Key in means take order. Exactly. Yes, that's right. Each possesses a touch screen on which orders can be keyed in. So, have a dash means have a touch screen. And by the way, touch screen is with hyphen. So, you will write it exactly the same way. Touch screen. To take orders. What is for to take orders? On which orders can be keyed in. Keyed in means take orders. Orders can be keyed in. Right? Okay guys, now we've got academic reading passage 2. Okay, reading passage 2. Does education fuel economic growth? Very important. Does education fuel economic growth? What does it mean?
that if people are educated, economy will be strong, right? So does education fuel economic growth? Question mark. And you see A, B, C, D. These A, B, C, Ds are very dangerous. Whenever there is A, B, C, D, there will be type B questions. And what are two type B questions? Number one, which paragraph contains the following information, and list of headings. And whenever you get list of headings and which paragraph contains the following information, do them at the end of that section, not in the beginning. Because for these question types, you need to do scanning around the full passage. And that scanning will eat all your time, all your energies, your brain will be exhausted, and then type A questions you will not be able to do properly. Always try to do type A questions first, and by doing type A questions, you will be familiar with the passage, and then type B questions are going to be easier for you. Now, let's come to the questions. Questions 14 to 18. Which section contains the following information? Are we going to start from here? How many questions? 5 questions. And these 5 questions have the ability to take your 15 minutes. And then at the end, you will be exhausted. So the good thing is, you need to start from questions 19 to 22. They are 4 questions and they are type A. Then you can do 23 and 24. They are also type A. And then you can do 25 and 26. And after that, you can come back to 14 to 18. Now, questions 19 to 22. Complete the summary below. Question type is summary completion. Choose one word from the passage for each answer. Demographic reconstruction of 2 German communities. Now, let's go back and we look for German communities. Demographic reconstruction of 2 German communities. Yeah, demographic reconstruction is mentioned in paragraph D for doctor who lived in these 2 German communities. Got it? Clear? Now see that we easily found the paragraph which contains the answer. How? Because we read the title, demographic reconstruction of 2 German communities. Got it? So finding the location in the passage where there is the answer is crucial. If you do that, then you will be able to manage your time. Otherwise, time management is the very serious issue in IELTS reading. One student said, I can do IELTS reading in 2 hours, 3 passages, then I can find 30 answers. And if I do 1 hour में तो एक passage ही मुश्किल से होता है. For some students, this is true, not for all. So, if you read 14 sentences for 14 questions, then IELTS reading is fun. And if you read all the passage for 14 questions, then it is a nightmare, okay? Anyways, let's start. We read questions. The database that Ogilvy and her team, now this is the name, okay, don't worry, just read as it is, or as you can. And her team has compiled sheds light on the lives of a range of individuals as well as their dash. Now listen, lives of individuals as well as their. Now listen, again referencing. IELTS reading is full of referencing. Their means something related to individuals. Lives of individuals and their business. Lives of individuals and their families. Lives of individuals and their something. And then they use the word over a 300 period. Now 300 is a very good clue. Let's go back. Yeah? Okay, very good. Across 300 periods. So now I'm going to read it from 3rd line. We can follow. Found it? Yes. Okay, paragraph D for doctor, 3rd line. We can follow the same people. Same people means individuals. For people, they use the word individuals and their descendants. So individuals and their descendants across 300 years. What will be the answer? Absolutely. Because for individuals, they use the word people and their descendants. And be careful with the spelling. Don't write the wrong spelling, okay? Descendants across 300 and there they use the word over a 300 year. Now, let's go on. I'm reading question number 20. For example, please follow me. For example, Anna, Regina, and Magdalena, and then the name. And if the, these are German names. Don't try to read them. If the names are hard to read, only read the first syllable. How? Anna, Reg. Magri. I'm reading Magri, okay? Were reprimanded, means punished or chastised, reprimanded for reading while they should have been paying attention to a dash. Now listen, two girls, they mentioned the name, they were punished for reading while they had to do something else. They were not supposed to read, they were supposed to do something else. Because of that, they were punished. Let's go back. Look for these names. Exactly. I mean, fourth line, individual lives have unfolded before their eyes. Stories like that of 24-year-old Anna, got it? And Magdalena, who were chastised. Chastised means reprimanded, punished. In 1707 for reading books in church instead of listening to. So they did not listen to sermon, they read books and they were chastised. Answer is sermon. Very good. Sermon. Clear? Yeah, to all? Good. And these type of things will take time to develop. Once you solve one test, you will not be clear. Another, at least 10 to 15 tests, then you will start understanding these concepts, okay? Let's go on. There was also Juliana, who came to the notice of the Weavers' Guild in the year 1752. The clue word is 1752 for breaking guild rules. As a punishment, she was later given a dash. What was punishment? She was given something as a punishment. Let's go back. She was given something as a punishment. Same paragraph. Can you see the word 1752? Okay, I'm reading from there. I'm reading from 1752 by the local weavers guild for weaving cloth and combing wool counter to the guild ordinance. Now, if you don't understand these difficult words, don't worry at all. Just read on. When Juliana continued taking jobs reserved for male guild members, she was summoned before the guild court and told to pay a... What was punishment? That fine. Told to pay a fine equivalent to 1/3 of the servant's annual wage. What's the question? The question is, as a punishment, she was later given a fine. Right? F-I-N-E, fine. This is not that fine, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Okay? This fine is the other fine you pay when you do something wrong. Okay? Cases like this illustrate, cases like this means the cases they mentioned before, illustrate how the guilds could prevent dash and stop skilled people from working. Prevent. Look for the word prevent. For prevent, they might use the word stop or anything else. Same paragraph, prevent. Yes, same paragraph, second last line. Please follow me. The dominance of guilds not only prevented, now focus, not only prevented people from using their skills, but also held back, underline held back, even the simplest industrial innovations. Now, by the way, for prevent, they use the word held back, even the simplest industrial innovations. Simplest industrial innovations. What will be the answer? Could prevent innovations and stop skilled people from working. So why not? Okay, now listen. They've given 3 words here. And those 3 words are simplest industrial innovations. Now look here. Most of the time, in the blanks, answer is supposed to be a noun. And to confuse you with that noun, sometimes they give 1 adjective, sometimes they give 4 adjectives. Beautiful, white, friendly, innocent cat. Answer is cat. But some Pole Badshah, they will write friendly, they will write innocent, they will write white and all that. So over here they mention simplest industrial innovation. And by the way, held back means prevent. Okay. All right, thank you. Answer is innovation. Okay guys, now let's start questions 23 and 24. We call these questions double multiple choice questions. Listen, whenever we have double multiple choice questions in IELTS reading, answers are usually in one paragraph. Sometimes they are grouped together, sometimes in two parts of one paragraph, and sometimes it is also possible that they are in two separate paragraphs, right? But they are going to be in order. Now I tell you what to do. First of all, you will read the question and find the clue word, so that when you go to the passage, you should locate. The first target is to locate the part of the passage that contains the question. So let's read questions 23 and 24. Please follow me. Choose two letters A to E. Write the correct letters in boxes 23 and 24. Which two of the following statements does the writer make about literacy rates in section B? Wow. They have given us section also. Okay. So which of the following statements does the writer make about literacy rates in section B? Now please come to section B. And two statements. And statements are usually in inverted commas. Usually, not always, but usually. So, anyways, can you guys see first inverted commas? They start from between 1600s. And second, modern cross country. Found it? Okay, now I'm going to read. Please follow me. Paragraph B, fourth line, between 1600 and 1900. Found it? Now let's read this carefully. Between 1600 and 1900, England had only mediocre literacy rates by European standards. Yet, its economy grew fast and it was the first country to industrialize. Now, what did they say? Literacy rates were mediocre, but they were the first country to industrialize. During this period, Germany and Scandinavia had excellent literacy rates, but their economies grew slowly. You got the idea? Now please come back. Option A. Very little research has been done into the link between high literacy rates and improved earnings. Not so far. B. Literacy rates in Germany between 1600s and 1900s were very good. Literacy rates were... Come back, please, come back. They said during this period, Germany and Scandinavia had excellent literacy rates. Literacy rates were excellent, but that economic growth was not that good. Just focus this sentence. It's the fourth last sentence. During this period, found it? During this period, Germany and Scandinavia had excellent literacy rates, and that is literacy rates in Germany between 1600 and 1900 were very good. For very good, they use the word excellent. So this is the first correct answer. Once you find one correct answer, now wait. Now we read the second part, and then we will read on. So please come back to the passage. I'm reading it from third last line. Modern cross-country analysis. Found it? Yes. It's the third last line, paragraph B, because they mentioned section B already. Modern cross-country analysis have also struggled to find evidence that education causes economic growth, even though there is plenty of evidence that growth increases education, she adds. Now, one thing, education causes economic growth, and other thing, economic growth causes education. Let's go on. Let's come back to the questions. Paragraph C, there is strong evidence that high literacy rates in the modern world result in economic growth. They didn't mention this thing. It was actually the opposite. By the way, it was the opposite. Option D, England is a good example of how high literacy rates helped a country industrialize. No. In England, literacy rate was low and it became industrialized country. So see that elimination. Odd options should be out. Option E, economic growth can help to improve literacy rates. And come back, please. Economic growth can help to improve literacy rates, and they mentioned education causes economic growth, even though there is plenty of evidence that growth increases education, right? So growth increases education. That means economic growth can help to improve literacy rate. Literacy rate means education. So correct answer for question number 23 and 24 is B for boy, E for elephant, and you can write in any order. For example, 23B, 24E. That is what I recommend. But if you write 23E, 24B, even then they will be right. Clear? Okay, now let's go on. Questions 25 and 26. Choose two letters A to E. Write the correct letters in the boxes. Which two of the following statements does the writer make in section F about guilds in German-speaking Central Europe? Guilds in German-speaking Central Europe between 1600 and 1900. Section F, two statements about guilds in German-speaking Central Europe between 1600 and 1900. So where is it? Paragraph F. Now see that paragraph F, and there are two answers here. Let's read it from fourth lines, you said. Third line, comma is there. German-speaking Central Europe is an excellent laboratory for testing theories of economic growth. She explains. Now what does she explain? It's the excellent laboratory. You can check it there. And what can you check there? Excellent laboratory for testing theories of economic growth, she explains. Right? Between 1600 and 1900, literacy rate and book ownerships were high, and yet the region remained poor. Now let's go back to the questions. Literacy rate high and region became poor, and they are the good laboratories for economic growth. Option A. I'm reading the questions now. Option A. They helped young people to learn a skill. No, not until now. Option B. They were opposed to people moving to an area for work. No. Option C. They kept better records than guilds in other parts of the world. No. Option D. They opposed practices that threatened their control over a trade. Not until now. Option E. They predominantly consisted of wealthy merchants. No. Let's read more. If you don't find any option, then you got to read more. So let's go on. We are going to read some more here. Okay, I'm reading it. It was also the case that local guilds, please follow me here. It was also the case that local guilds, found it? Okay, let's read on. It was also the case that local guilds and merchant associations were extremely powerful and legislated against anything that undermined their monopolies. So what was powerful? Merchant associations. The trader associations, okay? They were so extremely powerful and legislated. Legislated means they made laws against anything that determined their monopolies. And then they say in village throughout the region, guilds blocked labor migration. People were not allowed to go from one area to another and resisted changes that might reduce their influence. Now let's go back. Option B, they were opposed to people moving to an area for work. What is the word for that? Migration. And what do they mean by they? Guilds in German-speaking country. They means guilds. So they were opposed to people moving to an area for work. That means migration. First correct answer is B. B, not C. Okay, C is they kept better records. No. Option D, they opposed practices that threatened their control over a trade. Come back to the passage. They have mentioned here, extremely powerful and legislated against anything that undermined their monopolies. Undermined their monopolies means undermined their power. Let's go back to the question. Option D, well done. They opposed practices that threatened their control. Threatened their control means undermined their monopoly. Threatened their control undermine their monopoly over a trade. So D is the second correct answer. Okay? Question number 25, B for boy. Question number 26, D for doctor. All right. Yes. Okay. Questions 14 to 18. Reading passage 2 has 6 sections A to F. Which section contains the following information? Now, you guys are a little familiar with the passage. Okay? And by the way, this type of questions is type B. Questions and answers are not in order. You just have to scan the whole passage to find the answer. How to do it? Read the question statement, find a clue word, look across the passage to find that clue word, and there you will find the answer. By the way, just like that, you need to find a needle from a haystack. Just a small thing from the whole passage. Anyways, there is always one sentence which is going to match with these statements. So question number 14. An explanation of the need for research to focus on individuals with a fairly consistent income. Look for income, look for research, individuals. Explanation of the need for research to focus on individuals with a fairly consistent income. I give you hint, paragraph D, E, F. Paragraph D, E, F. Please go and find. Look for the word income or anything like that. Paragraph E, why? Okay, all right. Now listen. Paragraph E. Everyone please come to paragraph E. Third line. After full stop. Found it? This involves following the lives of different people with the same level of wealth over a period of time. Let's go back. Let's read the question. Explanation of the need for research to focus on individuals with a fairly consistent income. And what is the word for fairly consistent income? Same level of wealth over a period of time. If wealth is consistent, it is possible to discover whether education was linked or not. So, question number 14, because of individuals with a fairly consistent income, and for that they use the word wealth is constant. Paragraph E is the right answer for question number 14. Okay, now question number 15. Examples of the sources the database has been compiled of. Now look for database, sources, compiled of. Database, start from ABC. Examples of sources the database has been compiled. Exactly. The first paragraph, third line, it includes court records. Now what is record? It's database. Exactly. It includes court records, guild leaders, guild ledgers, parish register, village consensus. Now what is this? This is the example of, example of sources the database has been compiled of. What are the sources? Sources are court records, guild ledgers, parish registers, village consensus, tax lists. These are the sources. That is why for question number 15, correct answer is A. All right, question number 16 you can find easily. An account of one individual's refusal to obey an order. There was one person who refused to obey the order. We just read it somewhere. Account of one individual's refusal to obey an order. Go to paragraph D, E, F. One individual refused to obey the order. Okay, and that individual is Juliana. Right? Database also reveals the case of Juliana. Juliana is individual, a 50-year-old spinster living in the small. Found it? By the way? मिल गया सबको? Paragraph D. And in the middle, just look for the word Juliana Schweich something. Okay, found it? Okay, so the database also reveals the case of Juliana, a 50-year-old. 50-year-old mil gaya sabko? Good. 50-year-old spinster living in the small Black Forest community of Wildberg, who was reprimanded in 1752 by the local weavers guild for weaving cloth and combing wool. So example of individual means Juliana. And why was she reprimanded? Because she was weaving cloth and combing wool counter to the guild ordinance. When Juliana continued taking jobs reserved for male guild members, she was summoned before the guild court. The job was for male members and she did that, so she was summoned by the court and all that. So question number 16, account. Account means they expressed of one individual. That individual is Juliana. Refusal to obey an order. Question number 16, correct answer is D for doctor. Question number 17, a reference to a region. Region means area. It can be the name of a city, country, or any part. A reference to a region being particularly suited to research into the link between education and economic growth. You know that already. Yes, there they mentioned laboratory. They use the word laboratory. Reference to a region being particularly suited means it is the laboratory. Which paragraph is that? F. And what is the word over there? German-speaking Central Europe is an excellent, third line. German-speaking Central Europe is an excellent laboratory for testing theories of economic growth and all that. Now, have you noticed one thing? If you complete other question types, sometimes you will find the answers automatically because you've read it all. So, reference to a region being particularly suited, that is German-speaking Central Europe, and they use the word laboratory for question number 17. Correct answer is F. Question number 18. Examples of the items included in a list of personal possessions. They included the items like gold, mobile phone, camera, other household accessories. Examples of the items. Examples of the items included in a list of personal possessions. Personal possession means zati malkiyat. Examples of the items. And what are those items? All right. If you read paragraph C, in the handwritten inventories that Ogilvy is analyzing are the belongings of women and men at marriage, remarriage and death, from badger skins to Bibles, sewing machines to scarlet bodices. The villagers' entire worldly goods are included. Worldly goods, and what is the word for that? Personal possessions. Personal possession, worldly goods. They have given the examples of sewing machine and this and that. So for question number 18, correct answer is C. Okay? All right.